Board Games 4K.
Right. So everyone starts the game poor because you've got your wealth market, wealth track down there, and this is also depending on how rich you are. This tells you how many spaces you can move on land and on water.
Right.
So at the moment we can move 3 spaces on land and 2 on water. The poorer you are, obviously, the less you can move, and the richer you are, the more you can move. Okay. So what you want to do, you see up here you've got story points, and on the other side you've got destiny points, right? And the rules say that you can choose your victory sort of margin sort of thing. So you've got to add them up to 20, but really what you should do really is have 10 and 10 really.
Right.
So once somebody gets to 10 story points and 10 victory points, and they get back to Baghdad, then they win the game.
Right.
Right, but you could, if you wanted to, have 12 story points and 8 destiny points if you wanted.
Right.
But really, I mean, it's easier if you just have 10. So if you take your story token and put it on 10, right, and your destiny token and put it on 10, right? I think that's what we've got to do. Victory tokens are the appropriate. Oh, hang on, sorry, that's not right. This is what we want to do. Hang on. Record your victory formula. You're going to record the formula chosen by saying victory tokens are the appropriate number and type, concealing them under your player reference. Oh, right, so yeah, so these go down here, and that goes down there. But,
I was going to say,
yeah.
start from 10.
We'll just go to 10. Right?
210.
Yeah,
right.
210, and then you don't have to worry about it. Because what you do, you conceal, if you're playing it the way the book says, but you might get stuck. Certain points are harder to get at a certain time, so you might end up just going, the game might just go on and on and on because you need an extra couple of destiny points, you're not getting them.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so each player rolls 2 dice. 4, roll that.
11.
Right, so if you start and we go clockwise.
Okay.
Okay, so you see this list of skills here? You can choose 3 of them,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And you've got 2 levels. You've got the talent level, which is the beginner's or basic level, and then later on you can upgrade to the master level.
Right.
All right, which gives you better sort of skills. But in the book Tales, with this book here, it'll ask you when it's your turn to have an encounter. It'll ask you if you've got those certain skills, and if you have, then it affects the encounter. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one we played with Gav.
Right.
You've got to choose.
3.
Oh,
So we
quick thinking.
we can all do this at the same time. So
right.
so you just try and find it in here somewhere. I don't know if you can find quick thinking. And the talent level, which is the beginning one, is the brown side. Okay, what are you after?
Quick thinking.
It's quick thinking.
And I have seamanship, seeing as it's Sinbad the Sailor.
Right, so you can find seamanship.
What's this?
Is that seamanship? Scholarship?
Appearance.
Storytelling?
Scholarship. Oh, you got more than one then. Seduction. What's this? Quick thinking. Oh, there's more than one. Courtly graces.
What's beguiling mean?
Beguiling.
Means somebody who is. You can make them attractive to.
Oh, right.
You can make yourself attractive to them.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Charisma.
To beguile. Oh, where is it?
Seamanship.
Is
What
there
are
only one of those
I
then?
don't know.
And one more. Ooh. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I think they're. It looks like they're. There's a limited amount. Which ones? We'll just look through these and then see one that you like and take it rather than look at the list and try and find it. You know.
Pop that back then. So seamanship and quick thinking and enduring hardship.
Right, so put them on the brown side. So I'm going to
That
have
side,
I'm going to have seduction. Right.
What, old Alibaba?
Acting in disguise. And I'm also going to have luck,
They always move at least
I'm going to have beguiling,
beguiling,
wisdom,
4 by
Beguiling.
water, regardless of weather.
Wisdom.
Oh, okay.
and
what's
So you
party?
realise some of the
piety.
little things.
Is that sympathy or something? Is it
No, piety means that you're
pious man?
pious means you're sort of not holy, but you're good.
Oh,
Mm.
Do you want that one?
I'll have luck.
Right. Can you see luck anywhere? There might not be another one. Oh, yes, there is. Right, there you go. So put them on the brown side. Okay.
Yeah.
So you might acquire more skills as the game progresses. Okay.
Oh, it says it in the book, doesn't it?
So you get to know when these come in handy, do you, later on?
Yep. Right, so we each get a quest card. You don't have to fulfil the quest or
Yeah.
whatever. You don't have to do it at all. But obviously, the hardest part about this game is there's a key. There's a key to sort of resolving encounters and things. But I'll tell you what they'll mean in a minute. So you don't have to fulfil your quest if you don't want to. It's just like a guide. Okay. Right, once you've fulfilled your quest, you draw another one. Okay? And remove any of your quest markers from the board. Some quests require you to visit multiple locations, which you mark with your character's quest markers. To claim a marker, it requires remaining in the space after you have an encounter there.
So do we keep this quiet, what our quests are?
Yeah, you don't tell anybody. It doesn't say that you can't say what your quest is.
I mean, mine says to roll a die.
Yeah, same here.
So when do you do that?
Well, I suppose it doesn't really make any difference. You can't prevent somebody from fulfilling their quest. Anyway, I got exiled. We'll just let it just do it. So, a short time in the past, you rightfully shamed the vizier in public, and he is not forgotten. Your neighbour awakens you, screaming at you to flee. The vizier's eunuch guards are coming to arrest you for a heinous crime, he says. His urgency pierces your veil of sleep, and you run away. You know you are innocent of any crime, but you must flee beyond the civilised areas of Baghdad, beyond the vizier's grasp. You cannot afford to stay in one place for more than a turn unless a status prevents you. At the end of your third turn, at the end of every turn afterwards, roll a die and add the number in the terrain gem or city icon. If the modified roll is 4 or less, you are caught and returned to Baghdad. Once you are imprisoned, you discard this quest card and draw another one. If you return to Baghdad under your own power, remain there after an encounter, and then have any of the following statuses: blessed, beloved, robe of honour, or respected. Then you have cleared your name. The Caliph is apologetic for the false accusation. He beheads the vizier for his celebration in your honour for 30 days. So, if you return to Baghdad under your own power, remain there after an encounter, and have any of the following statuses. So all I've got to do is come out of Baghdad and go back. Yeah?
Can't be that simple.
Or I can get imprisoned.
You can read my out to mark basically.
Julie has contest of champions. You've entered a contest of skill of the mind and of the body. If you are in a city outside of Baghdad with another player and have at least 2 more skills than that player, you have won the contest. If, however, you share a city space other than Baghdad with another player and you do not have at least 2 more skills than that player, then you have lost. Discard this quest and draw another. What's yours
Mine
then?
is a dream of riches. You're awakened after a strange dream in which you are told to go to a faraway city where you will find a great treasure. Roll a die, blah blah, and to determine the city of your dreams.
I've got in.
Do it now.
Yeah.
Is it that one? Got to have numbers on it.
Roll a
Oh,
die.
just one.
Well,
Oh. Do it again. 3.
right, so you've got to go Zaylar.
Where's that?
No idea. You can see it. Where would you think that'd be?
Tanner. It's 4 letters, isn't it? I bet it's like right over the back there somewhere. Is it Z-A-L-A?
Z-A-I-L-A.
Oh, right. Z-A-I-L-A.
Yeah. No idea. Never heard of it.
No. Kiev.
Oh, there it is. So you've got to put your quest, your quest card
Right.
things on there.
Okay.
So that's where you've got to
Oh,
go.
it's not that far, is it?
Once you complete an encounter in that city, you meet a long lost relative who tells you the riches of your dead father. That night, the dream comes true again. Right, so you've got to go to that to fulfil that quest. You've got to go there and have an encounter in Zaylar.
Yeah, then I've got to go back again, haven't I?
Go back to Baghdad. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get your gold jewels and wondrous artifacts.
Yeah.
So do you actually get something when you come back, or?
Yeah, see at the bottom there, there's a key. I said, yeah, I'll tell you what that means. in a
Oh,
bit.
okay. Right.
Right, so what have I got to do? I've got to draw. After the end of the third turn, I've got to roll a die and add the number of the terrain or city icon. If the modifier rolls 4, unless you're caught, and return to Baghdad. And then I'm imprisoned. Right, okay. Right. So you'll see that the turn sequence here is the first thing you'll do is you'll pass the Book of Tales to your left. Okay? Book of Tales is
Oh, right, okay.
this huge tome of encounters. Alright? Pass that to your left, then you'll check any statuses that you've acquired. Like you might be, I don't know, pursued, or you might be various, whatever. Yeah, you check them and see how they affect you for that turn, and any treasures that you might have, what they do. Right? Then you move based on your wealth level that we've already said.
Yeah.
Draw an encounter card, right? And then you resolve the encounter card. Okay? And then you check for victory if you see if you've won, and then you just start the turn again.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So Arabia as the continent, you've got Arabia, which consists of any space without a number printed on it. Okay, so this is Arabia. There's no numbers. All right, and you've got Europa, any space in the north and west, and the 5 forest.
Right, okay.
Right, Africa includes forest spaces. India starts at Shiraz, and Asia is any land spaces east of Europa. Right.
Right.
So you can combine movement if you want to. Right, a move is a land move if it's between 2 spaces which are connected by a land route, and a sea move is 2 spaces connected by a sea route. Right, so that's moving 1 space would be going from Baghdad to there, and that's another, yeah? Right. So you can combine movement, that is move by land and sea in the same turn. The total distance you move cannot exceed the faster of your 2 movements. Okay, so if you wanted to, you could do 2, when you're poor, you could do 2 land movements and 1 sea movement, or 2 sea movements and 1 land movement, because the fastest speed is 3.
But on here it says that I could do 4, at least 4, regardless of wealth level.
Oh, there you go, because you are a seaman.
seaman. So, but to get to the sea, I've got to use 1, have I? Right.
Right. So you'll see here on the map, you've got various different strange looking places. They're called places of power. Alright? And you will see that it's only got an arrow leading away from it. You can't go there through normal means.
Right.
So you'll be instructed to go there through the Book of Tales.
Right.
And you'll have a specific encounter in these bizarre places. Alright? Some encounters will reward you with an opportunity to enter a place of power. And if you earn one of these opportunities, you place your destination marker on one of them. Okay? You may move there with normal movement, just like a normal space, following the arrow backwards. That's if the Book of Tales says that you have an opportunity to go there. So, for instance, if I had an opportunity to go to the Valley of Diamonds, I'll put that in there. That means that I can follow the arrow backwards. But I can only put that down if the book tells me I can do that. Alright. You can only have one destination marker on the board at any one time. That's because you've only got one. Okay.
That's pretty obvious.
Some encounters will tell you that you must move directly to a place of power, in which case you do. And as soon as you complete your encounter in a place of power, you move your character to the space indicated by the arrow. So, for instance, I had that encounter, I'd go there afterwards. Okie doke. So, if you look at your little turn sequence at the bottom, the first thing you'll do is you'll pass the Book of Tales to your left. Right, and any statuses that you've acquired over the time, you'll check them and treasure cards to see if they affect anything that you're doing.
So is that the starter person who does that? Excuse me, the Chian.
What do you mean?
But if I'm starting, do I pass it to you?
No.
Alright.
We'll just assume that we've already done that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then you'll move based on your wealth level.
Yeah.
And you'll draw an encounter card. Okay?
Right.
So, what you'll do, you draw the top card from this deck, right? And once we've gone through it, then it will become noon, and then once we've done it again, it'll become night time.
Right.
And the time of day will affect the encounters that are in what happens in the encounters.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's what these are.
Yeah. So there's three kinds of encounter cards. So you've got character encounters, city encounters, and terrain encounters. All right. Character and terrain encounter cards are discarded after your encounter, but if you have a city encounter, you may choose to keep the card to play in the future. Alright? So, character encounter cards and terrain encounter cards. So if you draw a character encounter, you refer to the deck marker morning, noon or night. Right? So depending on, at the moment it's morning, so if you draw a character, right, you'll look at the reference number, which refers to the morning, like this, for instance, here.
Oh yeah.
There's a reference number there, so because we're in morning, you'll look at that one.
Okay.
So if you draw a terrain encounter card, you must determine what kind of terrain your character is in. Alright? And you look at the terrain key on the back of this cover here. So mountain, sea, desert, forest, island, and their cities. Okay, and that's what you'll look at. So you'll look at mountains, desert, sea, forest, cities, and islands.
These ones?
There's desert.
What cities are going these?
Yeah. Right? At the bottom of the card, you'll find a paragraph number for each of the. Right, so one terrain type on each terrain encounter refers you to reaction matrix N. Okay? Instead of a paragraph number. So go right to the reaction matrix if you are in this type of situation. The illustration applies only when the encounter occurs in this terrain type. See, some of the encounters will have N on it, all right? And that's just telling you to go directly to the reaction matrix.
Right.
Okay. Here. Like you'll meet a specific thing. Okay, so city encounter cards will give you the opportunity to get special rewards. If you draw a city encounter, you immediately go to the paragraph printed on the bottom of the card to have an encounter. The city encounter card also names a city and a list of results numbered 1 to 6. You may choose to keep the city encounter card to play later, or you can choose to discard it. So if you keep the city encounter and you are in the named city, at the end of a future encounter phase, then you may play the card. When you play the card, roll the die indicates the award you receive, and apply the result immediately. Okay? Right. Sometimes the result of a city encounter card will name another encounter. these special encounters either list a paragraph from the Book of Tales or a letter matching a table in the reaction matrix. If you play a city encounter card and get one of the results, refer to the Book of Tales or the reaction matrix as indicated. Okay, so if you're in a place of power, you don't draw a card, you instead find a paragraph number printed on the place of power. Okay?
Right.
So when you resolve an encounter, you'll discover who or what you have encountered. You'll choose a reaction, right, from all these different things.
Oh, okay.
Right, you'll determine your destiny by rolling a die, and then you resolve the encounter. All right. So the first paragraph the reader turns to will usually be an encounter chart. Each encounter chart shows 12 numbered entries. You now roll one die and add the value of your die roll. Right. Okay. The number printed inside the gem or city icon your character is on, and +1 to the roll if you have 3 or 4 destiny points, or +2 if you have 5 or more. Okay? It should remind you up there on the chart thing.
Where's that?
Up the top there, on the track.
Oh, right, okay.
The reader finds the result on your modified roll on the encounter chart and reads the description next to that number. Alright? So that's a typical encounter chart there. Alright? So it will tell you. Ali Barbara has 9 destiny points. The encounter occurs in a particularly dangerous space which has a 4 printed in the gem. Right, if you rolled a 6, the result would be a 12. Okay, so you look down to see what you get, yeah, and that will tell you which encounter matrix to go to. So if, for instance, I came across a mad captain, right, I'd go to encounter matrix I, right?
Right.
You'd look here and you'd choose a reaction.
Right.
I'd read the paragraph and then you'd say I would aid the mad captain, right? So you look across here at the top and you go to aid and look down at the thing, I think. Bang on.
So you do that, do you, or do we all take turns doing that?
We all do.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So one person will read from the book and one person will have the encounter matrix.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have the Book of Tales, Julia will have the encounter matrix, and then she'll pass it to you next time, right? So the encounter chart will direct the matrix reader to a reaction matrix. There are 15 matrices, each labelled with a letter from A to O. Like you can see them on your board here.
Oh, yeah.
Some encounter charts will use a single matrix, in which case a letter blah blah blah. Oh, okay, so once you locate the correct reaction matrix, find the adjective shown on the encounter chart in the left-hand column. Alright. So, for instance, if I had the mad captain, I'd go down to mad. Alright? And then you would choose your reaction. Right, so if I wanted to aid the mad captain, and it would give me a paragraph, alright, which is 1058, which refers to a paragraph in the book. Okay? Just remember that you can only choose the court option if your character is of the opposite gender from the person that you have encountered.
Right, okay.
It's not how 21st century, man. Anyway, right, so each reaction option on the reaction matrix has 3 possible result paragraphs. Once you've chosen your reaction, the matrix reader notes the number and you roll the destiny die, which is this thing. Okay? So if I roll as a minus, I'd subtract 1 from that paragraph number and then the reader would turn to that paragraph.
Right.
If it's blank, you read the one that you got from the matrix. If it's plus, you add 1.
Right.
Alright?
Yes.
Then you read the paragraph, and this is the most tricky thing about this game. Alright? So the reader reads the result paragraph aloud, and this is your opportunity to read dramatically, do voices and so forth, and have fun with the reading. Right? So some results paragraphs will have list of skills after them, but we will explain them in a moment. Right, so a cryptic code will appear in brackets, and it will look something like this.
Right.
Like just a load of numbers and bits and bobs. which is quite simple. So if you see a D, that means destiny points are gained or are gained or lost if it's a negative number. All right, so if it's got D2, then you gain 2 destiny points.
Right.
If it's got D minus 2, you lose 2.
Yeah.
Same with S. If you see an S, it's if it's just S1 or S2, you gain 2.
Yeah.
If it's minus 2, you lose 2 story points.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the W refers to a wealth level.
Right.
That's the same thing. So plus means you'll go up 1 wealth, or minus 1, you'll lose a wealth.
Right.
All right. Then you'll have skills and statuses may also be named in the results, and they'll be in italics. Okay. These skills and statuses are gained immediately. Okay. Statuses will be in italics, skills won't be. So it will also say if you next to wealth that there's a maximum level that you can have with this encounter. For instance, like this one, it says wealth +1, but you can't go above poor. Okay. So this here says storytelling. Right, so you'll gain the storytelling skill, and you'll also gain the respected status.
Oh, okay.
All right. So some paragraphs instruct you to gain a level in a skill. So if you don't have that skill, you receive the skill at talent level. All right. If you already have the skill, then turn the marker over to indicate that you now have the skill at master level. So, for instance, the encounter said that you had seafaring.
Yeah.
Gain the seafaring skill, and you've already got it. You'll turn it over, and then you'll get it at master level. All right. Sometimes it will include a treasure. It will be bolded within the brackets. It may mention a specific treasure, such as Ionian gems. Anyway, when you do this, if you get confused, you don't know what I mean. I'll tell you what it means.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes results paragraphs list additional special effects and just do what it says. All right. So sometimes the cards will refer to the other, all right?
Right.
So when it says the other, you have to say, when you're reading the story, don't say the other. You say, for instance, like if it says the other and we were doing the encounter with the Mad Captain, you'd say the Mad Captain instead of the other, right? Because obviously it's not gonna, the cards don't know what encounter you're having, so
yeah, it makes sense. That.
All right. Right. So most result paragraphs are divided into several sections. One of them is labelled no skill, and the others are labelled with skill, status, and/or treasure names. If you don't have any of the skills listed, you must choose no skill. If you have one or more of the skills listed, you must choose to use any one of them, or choose to use no skill at all. The reader reads the appropriate section and awards the penalty he gives. So some of the encounter cards will mention skills. Right. So if you don't have any of the skills, you have to use the no skill paragraph, no skill bit. Right. Mandatory skills.
Who?
Mandatory skills. It will say mandatory skills, in which case you must use that section if you have any of the skills. It says mandatory. Right.
Okay.
Right. If you have the skills at master level, you can control your own fate to a greater degree. So you do not immediately roll the destiny die to determine your results paragraph. Instead, the reader checks all 3 possible paragraphs to see whether one or more of your master skills are listed. If they're not listed, resolve the encounter in the normal way, but if you do have one, you may choose to go directly to that paragraph, starting with the first part. Right. So when you have an encounter, you tell the reader whether you've got any skills at master level, and they'll look through the thing and see if it says anything about that.
Right, okay.
Right, so you can lose, skills can be lost during the game, blah, 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 blah. Right, so you must obey the effects of any status cards you have at all times, right? Not just on the first turn. You must keep an eye on the other players and remind the reader if there's any statuses in effect. Your wealth can never exceed fabulous. If you had fabulous wealth, you lose your only treasure, your wealth drops to princely immediately, right? So you can sell treasures you possess at the end of your turn in any city after encounters. If you sell a treasure, you gain the wealth indicated on the treasure card. All right, noting the maximum wealth level you can gain. you can die, but we'll come to that when we get it. And so, if you've collected at least enough destiny and story points to meet your secret goal, you must return to Baghdad to win. Once you reach Baghdad and remain there after surviving an encounter, you announce that you're going to win. Then all the other players have one last turn to try and complete their goals and reach Baghdad. Right? So at the end of the last turn, it's possible. At the end of the last turn, any player in Baghdad who has fulfilled his victory conditions can win the game. So you can have a shared victory if you want to.
Right, okay.
Okay. That's basically it. Right. So.
Oh, I meant to put on there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's part of my
Right. So.
thingy bob.
So we'll say we've passed the Book of Tales. We'll check for statuses and treasures. We haven't got any. So now you can move.
Right.
Based on your wealth level.
Right. So that's 3 land.
Yeah, 3 land and 2.
And I can do 4 sea. Because it's a seaman. You can have 4.
Always move at least 4 by water, regardless of wealth level.
It says at least 4. So
Yeah.
what does that mean? Just 4?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can move 4 by sea.
Right. So 3 by land and 4 by sea.
No, remember we
Either
said that
or,
you
is
could, the maximum you could move is the higher one. So that'd be 4.
Right.
But your mum can't get to see yet.
No, so you could go 3 land. You could split it, can't you? So you can move 4 by sea or 3 by land.
Right, not both.
No.
Right, okay.
So you ignore this. This is basically now 4.
Yeah.
So you can move 3 by land maximum and then 1 by sea if you wanted.
Right, okay. So I might as well go there, isn't I? Where's that? Mecca.
Right. In Mecca. Right, so we draw an encounter card. Right, so we've got the Enchantress who you have encountered. Alright, so we got Julie will have the encounter matrix.
This is a city one, isn't it?
No, it's a character encounter.
Character. Excuse me.
Right. So we want to go to entry 114, right? Now this matrix B. Okay? So you want to look down the side there. Now roll 1 die.
Me. 1.
Right. So you add the value of your die roll to the number printed inside any general city icon your character is on. So there is none. So you add 1. And +1 to the die roll if you have 3 or 4 destiny points, which you don't. Redefines the result on your modifier roll on the encounter chart and reads the description next to that number. So what did we say it was? 114. And you had 1.
It's 115, yeah?
What?
Right, just add 1 onto that number. Oh, sorry.
It redefines the result of your modified roll. So counter, so it's number 1. Read the description next to that number. The encounter chart will direct the matrix reader to a reaction matrix, and there are 15 matrices, each labeled with some encounter charts. Right, so it's kindly number 1.
Kindly.
Yeah.
Right.
Kindly, yeah.
And then look at the top for Enchantress.
Who isn't an Enchantress?
Well, what's there then?
B, did you say?
What?
Letter B.
What?
Is that what you said?
No.
You told me to go to letter B.
Hang on. First power, usually to be an encounter, right, so 114. Each encounter chart shows 12. Each encounter chart has 12 numbered entries. Reader finds the result of your modified roll and reads the description next to that number, right? Right. Yeah, so matrix B. So what's at the top there? So
It's got it here, isn't it? Grovel, aid, rob, avoid, bargain, attack, court, trick, and hire. You got to choose one.
what's
don't you?
along the top?
That's what I just done.
That's what's on the top. Right,
Yeah.
so you look at matrix B, right?
Mm.
So Julie's like, you've encountered a kindly enchantress,
Right.
right? So you look at your how you want to react to this kindly enchantress by looking at matrix B. You choose one, then Julie will cross-reference that your reaction and give me a paragraph number,
How do you know it's kindly though?
because that's the thing that it told me to go to.
Right.
I'll hire her.
Hire.
Mm.
4, 5, 3.
Right, so roll the destiny die.
What's that number there do then?
What number?
Remember of that red dice.
Yeah, that tells me you have to add that.
Yeah.
It gives you the what she's like.
Yeah.
Oh, right, on yours, right.
Right, so it's -1. So what's that?
4, 5, 2.
4, 5, 2. Oh, made my brain hurt for a minute.
Bit complicated, isn't it?
Right, 4, 5, 2. Right, so the enchantress is very eager to work with you and does not demand a fee. I am eager to practice my magic, she says. Right.
Good. It's positive. What happens now?
Do you have the magic skill?
No.
Right, so you get nervous at the word practice and decide to seek assistance elsewhere. You gain 1 story and also gain the wisdom skill.
Oh, nice. So that's positive, and after all that, wasn't it? Wisdom. Here we are.
Right. Okay.
So I haven't hired her.
No.
No.
I've got
Because
cold
you
feet.
didn't have magic.
Oh, darn. But I've got wisdom, so. Ho ho.
So you pass the book of skills. Right.
Matthew's
Right. So Alibaba,
also give a living basket.
I think I'm going to go head north. So 1, 2, 3, Yalta. So you have to draw an encounter card. Well, we'll look at it first, right? So
Oh gosh, look at that.
maybe I should shuffle these a bit better. Do you reckon?
Oh, because you didn't want the
Oh,
hump.
Well, I don't know if
come
I didn't. I
on.
don't know if I shuffled them.
Well, your mum just had that one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll just shuffle these.
Yeah, you keep that card. You
Yeah,
shuffle.
it's only fair.
So you shuffle all the statuses and stuff.
No, don't shuffle them because they're alphabetical order.
What about the treasure?
Yeah, I'll
Quest.
shuffle. I'll shuffle those, but I don't know if I only shuffled these
You
lately.
got, you got what's it in Lord of the Rings?
What, Gollum?
Your character didn't turn out very well the last time we played this.
No, I'll tell you. I
He
think I'll tell
just
you.
had cold, yeah, cold feeling there, didn't he? It's going to happen again.
Right, so you wanna go to paragraph 86 in the Book of Tales.
Is that what it says there?
Yeah,
How do you know the paragraph?
because it says paragraph 86.
Well, the enchantress goes back, was it? Or was it?
It's discarded.
Oh, okay. Can't use it again then. She could have come in handy later.
Yeah.
So you're off all week, are you, with this strike?
86.
Mm.
Oh, what, here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, so I roll a die,
yeah.
and I would add the number printed on the gem or city. But there, what's that say? 2.
Two.
So I'll roll the die and add
No,
2.
is it? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
2.
roll the die and add 2. And if I had 3 or 4 destiny points,
You haven't.
I'd
got
had
those.
1. If I had 5 or more, I'd had 2. Right, so that's 5. So you want to look down and say 5. And the
Sure.
hunchback is what?
You sure?
Yeah, what?
Ugly.
An ugly hunchback. Right?
Here we go.
So what matrix is my mum looking at?
Matrix.
It's at the top there in black, yeah.
C.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you look down there and then you find
Ugly. Yeah, got it.
right? Got it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to beat the ugly hunchback. So you look across and
So
go
that's
beat.
4, 6, 1.
Hang on. And I'll roll the destiny die.
What are you going to beat the poor man for?
Right, so you had 1, 4, 6, 2.
Yeah. Oh, you're cruel, you are. Coming out being a hunchback.
Ugly.
The hunchback.
462.
Yeah.
Horrible
Beat him
man.
up, beat him up.
Don't like Ali Baba.
Your victim cries out and others rush to the cries. Do you have to read out no skill?
Right, what's the skill below it? What does it say below it?
What? Courtly graces
Yeah.
beginning. Is that what I've got to read?
Beguiling.
Yeah. Do I have to read that?
No. You I'll tell you what, I haven't got that skill. So I've got luck, acting and disguise, and a seduction. Is that, are any of them
That's not going to
skills?
work if you're beating them up, is it?
Are any of them listed?
No.
Right, so you read no skill.
The rain blows upon you and take the opportunity to rob you as well.
What?
It says no skill.
Read it again.
What? At the top it says your victim cries out and
Yeah.
others rush to the cries.
Yeah.
Then it's got no skill, coarsely graces, beguiling, and then brass trumpet at the
Let's
bottom.
have a look.
Oh, yes. Reading it out. In.
What was it? 462.
Yeah.
Right. So if I had a brass trumpet treasure, well, you'd read that. If I had courtly graces or beguiling, you would read them.
But you
Because
haven't
I've got
that.
no skill. It says the rain blows upon you
Yeah.
and take the opportunity to rob you as well. The rain blows.
I did read it right.
They,
yeah.
oh, because they're hitting you. The rain
Oh, they-
blows on you.
Sorry, they
Not
rain.
the rain's
oh,
blowing
yeah.
on you.
The rain blows upon you. Take the opportunity to rob you as well. Right. There's one destiny, one story, and I lose 2 wealth. Right, and I'm also take the wounded thing,
What colour are you?
black.
Did I read that right?
Yeah. It's just I
Yeah.
thought you were reading that courtly
No.
graces as part of the no skill thing.
No.
Well, I thought that's what I thought you were doing. Is that I thought you were reading that, telling me to take those skills.
So
Right.
that rebounded on you then, didn't it?
So I've got to take
Beating
the.
somebody up.
What the ugly.
So I'm wounded.
Poor thing. I mean, you had seduction, everything, and it's not
So-
going to work, is it?
I've got to take the wounded.
Wounded.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The wounded
Oh, and
hunchback.
it says.
You could die.
You have been wounded in battle or through an accident of fate. Lose the use of the following skills regardless of level until you are no longer wounded. Stealth and stealing, magic, weapon use, seduction and appearance. Right, to lose, I skip my next turn to heal and lose either 1 destiny or story point. Alternatively, if you give a wealth level to a player in your space who has a scholarship, you lose the status. So I've got to miss my next turn. Right?
So
What happens
does
to
it go to Julie again then?
Do you keep that then?
What?
That hunchback.
No. Only if you got a city card.
Oh, it's
No.
Julie's turn now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Oh,
Right, so you,
I have this
Right,
now
yeah,
because
yeah.
I did that last time.
okay.
So, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Alexandria.
Right, so it's a city encounter.
Oh, it's
Two.
Isla. That's where I am. Okay.
What's the number in the bottom?
1.
Right. So with the city encounter,
Same as your one. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, no, that's my cancer thing on this Xyla.
right, so you immediately go to the paragraph in the book
Which is
on the bottom of the card.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do I not get a? Oh, I might not know one. I might not know one.
No, you don't get. It says city encounter. Paragraph 1.
Okay.
Right, so you got to roll the destiny die, roll the die, and add 2.
Did you not get? You got an encounter as well, didn't you?
What do you mean?
Oh.
Right, 5 plus 2 is 7.
Strange artifact. In brackets E.
Right. Encounter matrix E. Strange. Right. So you found a strange artifact in
Zyla.
well, no, in not Mecca, in
Alexandria.
wherever
Oh, it's
at.
Alexandria. So do I have to look up something?
No.
or-
Not yet. So
Okay.
Julie will look down at E and then decide what you want to do.
All right.
Examine
Examine.
So she wants to exactly. So roll the thingy die.
the artifact.
Bit of Indiana Jones.
Right. So 1066 is what you want to go to.
Oh, right, okay.
Alright.
Battle of Hastings.
You say strange artifact.
Hmm.
Yeah, 1066.
Oops. Get the spine right.
And examine.
Okay. Ahead of you stands a small brass statue.
What skills you got?
Beguiling, wisdom, and luck.
Oh, so you want to, oh no, sorry.
That one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading.
Yeah, right. So you would read no skill.
Right, okay. Can't I read the beginning bit?
Yes, I know. I'm just telling you what to do. Go on.
Ahead of you stands a small brass statue of a horseman. As you draw near, it begins to revolve. When it stops, the horseman's spear points in a new direction. Its function, this is the no skill, its function is an enigma, but it is small enough to carry on horseback, and you sell it in a nearby bazaar for a fair sum. That's D1,
You're going to Destiny.
W plus 1.
You haven't been moving them up, have you?
No,
Well, I should have done.
I didn't ask you to.
Yeah, I did. So you moved me up one. In the last encounter, it should have gone up one Destiny and one story. So what?
Right, she's had a destiny, wealth plus 1.
Right. You're yellow, aren't you? So you're up at 2 respectable.
Okay,
What? Anything else there?
that's just scholarship, which is the skill, isn't it?
Where is it? Destiny plus 1. Yeah, maximum rich. Right. Okay.
You didn't get any destiny, did you, on your last go?
I didn't, no.
No.
No, I didn't get anything. Let's get the spine right.
Back to you.
Oh, this is annoying. There you go, I don't want to ruin it. Right, what do I do with this?
That gets discarded. Or you can keep that. So when you go to Zaylar, you can cash it in and do this.
Oh,
Is that me or your mum?
Oh, Mum. No, you get it.
That's my
Oh.
card, isn't it?
Oh, right.
Right.
Oh, I could have done with that.
So,
Bother.
so if you draw a city encounter, you immediately go to paragraph. The city encounter also names a city and lists the results numbered. You can choose to keep the city encounter card and play it later, or you can choose to discard it. If you keep it and you are in the city named at the end of the future encounter phase and you have played a card, when you play the card, roll the die, and the die indicates the award you receive. Okay?
Where's Sailor, isn't it?
Down here.
Yeah, that's where my
Oh,
thing went now. That's annoying.
Go on then.
That's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
So, I want to go to Zayla, so I can do that by crossing the sea. Thank you. So I'm in there now.
Right, so what was your quest?
Right, okay. It says, once you complete an encounter in that city, so I've got to have an encounter.
Well, we'll do that first then, shall we?
Yeah.
Right, so you've got the elephant's graveyard.
Ooh, what's that
Right.
mean?
So you're in a city, so we want to go to paragraph 30.
Elephant's graveyard. Can I look at that?
Paragraph 30.
What does that mean? Ivory. Don't know.
Right, and now so you want to roll the die. 6 plus 2 is 8. So you've encountered a talking beast.
Mm.
Right, Matrix J.
J.
Talking beast.
Mm.
Right, okay.
What do you want to do?
J.
Mm.
Study.
We'll study the talking beast.
Well, I can't see anything about talking back to it. Follow.
It's up to you. What do you want to do?
I'll stick with study because I'm not quite sure.
What was it?
So you look at talking, then go to study.
Oh, talking. Study 905.
Roll the destiny die.
Plus.
Fine.
Right, so 906. Right? 906. Right, do you have the storytelling skill?
No.
No. Right.
Is that all?
Yeah.
The only one?
As you come to a clearing amidst a grove of trees, you see a small ape singing a song. Such a strange beast could make you famous, but with no one around to help you, you are left to your own devices, so you step forward to introduce yourself. Without a word, the ape disappears into the trees. You shake yourself, wondering if your senses have deceived you, gain a destiny and a story.
Oh. Gain the story?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, it wasn't wasted,
You
was it?
saw a singing ape.
So,
Singing 8.
Yeah, that disappeared into the trees.
okay, so once you've completed it, you
Yeah.
meet a long lost relative who tells you of the riches your dead father used to have and you've never known about. That night, the dream comes again, telling you to return to your home in Baghdad. Confused and a little angry for having made such a long journey, you decide to follow the dream to its conclusion. Right.
Just got to go back to
I've got to
Baghdad.
go back to Baghdad.
Okay. Right.
Hmm.
So I've got to miss my turn because
That's
I'm wounded.
Julie then. So
Right, I can get rid of this.
does that mean that you do that and I do that?
I've just done that.
Yeah,
So it
he's
goes
got to
to
miss
you.
his turn.
Right, so that
So-
goes to me. That
Yeah,
goes to
right,
you.
that's what I thought,
It's your
yeah.
go.
Oh, right,
Right.
Yeah.
okay. Where do I need to go to? Zayla.
So at the end of this turn, I've got to roll a die, haven't I?
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you be on the
Yeah,
same
just-
spot as someone else?
Yeah.
Can you? 1, 2, 3.
That's right, I'm only visiting.
Hello.
I'm gonna eat up.
Hello.
Lunch.
How do I sing an ape?
Right. You never guess what I just saw. Right.
Right.
You're going to use your card?
Yeah,
or-
was it say encounter?
You got to have an encounter first.
Oh, right, okay. Right, magnetic mountain.
Was it what
Right, so you're in a
mountain?
city, so you want to go to number 6, paragraph 6 in the book. Magnetic mountain.
Right, at the beginning, wasn't it, where you got to choose?
What, is this? Is it this
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, 6.
Julie wants to roll a
Roll
die.
die, yeah.
This one,
Yep, and add
I'll move this
2.
up 'cause I can't-
Right, 5.
5.
Find the beast.
Right. So
Find the beast.
you've met a
Fine.
fine.
And it's got a
fine
J
beast.
afterwards.
Right.
Not the singing ape.
F-I-N-E,
Okay.
fine.
Fine
Oh,
beast.
fine.
Fine beast. So look
J.
at matrix J.
J.
And what do you
Fine
want to do?
beast. Fine.
How do you want to react to the fine beast?
Follow.
I'm going to follow the fine beast. Right.
-1.
Mm.
Right. 9 through 3.
No, -1.
Yeah, 9 through 3.
Oh, right. And follow the beast.
Skill is determined or luck.
I've got luck.
Oh, okay.
Don't have to use it if you don't want to.
Yeah, I need it.
Right, you approach the beast and soon are able to discern its rider, a great dark evil-looking demon with fiery eyes. Prudently you decide not to interfere with it, but instead go someplace far away. S2, wisdom.
So I get one.
You get 2 skill. Is that right? Wisdom.
What?
It's S2 and
Right, so
wisdom.
story, get story 2.
Right.
I get another wisdom. Is that
Yeah,
wisdom?
you get wisdom skill. Oh. Is it, so what does it say?
It
What's
says
in,
S2/wisdom.
it's in italics. So it's a skill, isn't it?
S2, wisdom.
So I followed the beast and then I let him go.
Yeah.
So if these run out, you just tough, is it?
No.
Wisdom. Oh yeah, it's wisdom. Okay. Oops.
If one of your master skills is listed in any of the 3 possible paragraphs, you may choose to go directly to that paragraph. Starting with the first part, reading the section for the master skill without rolling the die. This encounter mystic, so you said the premise that what above was a magic skill master that really looks at the paragraphs. Oh right, I see. Okay, so if you've got a master skill,
Yeah.
you look at the 3 because you get 3 possible paragraphs which you can count, don't you? Right, because you rolled the destiny die. If you've got a master skill and one of the 3 paragraphs lists your master skill, you can choose to go straight there without rolling the white die. Okay.
Right.
So
Remind us of
is that
that.
Can I
then?
do that then?
Yeah. So roll a d6.
Says,
Shut this down.
says encounter wicked vizier.
You've got to roll a die, haven't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, roll a die.
Gain wisdom. And
Yeah.
gain.
Roll the dice and then that's
Yes.
what you get.
Oh right, okay. Out of the numbers, don't
Mm.
1. Encounter wicked vizier.
Right.
Vizier.
What does
It's
it say?
got a bracket with 1 in.
So you want to go to paragraph 1. Right.
Okay.
And it's you want to roll that die, yeah. And add 2.
1.
Add 2, so that's
Right,
3.
3. Bloodthirsty brigands. 1. It's got here. Is that right? Or is it I? Oh, it's letters. It must
That's
be
a
I.
wicked vizier. Doesn't make sense. Encounter a wicked vizier.
Why would you have a rock slide with a bloodthirsty vizier?
We'll name it. These special encounters are either list the paragraph number, but it's more or a letter matching a table in the reaction matrix. Well, that might be I. Oh right, yeah. Sorry, it's not number 1. It's I.
I.
Yeah.
Oh. So you've got to choose a response to the vizier.
Yeah.
What's a vizier then? What is it?
Well, it's a
Sultan or something.
yeah, it's
Sorry?
a sort of high up person,
Oh
a
right.
bit like a prime minister.
I have to honour him then.
He's wicked.
Well. Question then.
Yeah, but you don't know. There's nowhere you can go, is there? Maybe is that a 1 or an I? I don't know.
So this one's the same. So this is letters, so it's got to be an I. So I reckon that's an I. There's an N down there.
No, that's for
So in
roll a
brackets,
1.
it's an I. I mean, this is all numbers, isn't it?